Now we will be doing the next part, which is more important, and in fact we'll have a lot of questions coming from this side, which is basically the exercise 7C that will come up with these kind of properties that we will use about proportion. So which are those important properties of proportion? Number one is invertendo. Now the question arises, what is invertendo? Invertendo is, the word itself tells you, right? Invert, the word, it tells you the meaning. This is invert. Means if we have got a ratio as A is to B, right, then what is the invert of this one? Inverse of this will be B upon A, right? So which means if A is to B is proportional to or equal to C is to D, and when we invert both sides, so what will happen? It will become B is to A is equal to D is to C. So this is what we get here. Simple. By invertendo means you are inverting both ratios. Means you are making the both the ratios inverted, inverse. As simple as that. The next after this is alternando. Say, according to this property of the proportion, A is to B is equal to C is to D. In that case, it will become A is to C is equal to B is to D. How it happens? Let's see. A is to B is equal to C is to D, right? C is to D. So what you do is you bring it back down and you move this to the other side. So what will happen? It will become A is to C is equal to B is to D. So had we not made the changes here, altered, so it's alternando, right? Alternando. So you can write it as A is to C is equal to or proportional to B is to D here. Simple. Next come here is componendo, important one for you. Componendo is basically you are adding 1 to the ratio. Say when we add 1 to the ratio here, A is to B can be written as here A upon B, and that is equal to C upon D. So add 1 both the sides, 1. If we are adding 1 to both the sides of the equation, the value does not change. So it will become A plus B upon B, and the other one become C plus D upon D. This is simply by componendo here, right? Then comes here, the next is dividendo. Just opposite of componendo will be dividendo. So dividendo will be here as subtract 1. A upon B is equal to C upon D. So subtract 1 both the side. So what will happen? It will become A minus B upon B is equal to C minus D upon D. This is by dividendo here. Dividendo means subtracting 1 both the sides. I know how it happens. Now we can combine both componendo and dividendo together. So what will happen? A upon B is equal to C upon D. So which means you have to do C and D both. We call C and D, componendo and dividendo together. So we know that when we do componendo, what does happen? It becomes A plus B upon B, right? And the other one become what? C plus D upon D. Now if I do the dividendo, then what happens in it? You get what? A minus B upon B, and the other one you get C minus D upon D, right? Now if you divide both, this one you divide, this is led with the first equation and this is the second equation, you divide both. So what will happen in that case? You will find that it becomes what? Yeah. If you divide it, you will get this. A plus B upon B divided by A minus B by B is equal to C plus D by D divided by C minus D by D. So further if you write, so it will become what? A plus B by B into B by A minus B is equal to C plus D by D into D by C minus D, right? We know D got cancelled here, B got cancelled. So what are we getting it? So by componendo and dividendo, right, what do we get? We get A plus B upon A minus B is equal to C plus D by C minus D. So this is what we have got as a C and D together by componendo and dividendo together. See, so what does it mean if the ratio is A is to B is equal to C is to D? So what you do is you write here A and then plus B, and below that same is basically numerator plus denominator at the numerator, and denominator will be numerator minus denominator, and it will happen both the side. Here C will be what? Numerator is C plus denominator, and denominator here the denominator will be numerator minus denominator. So simple, this is how you have to remember it. Fine. This is more important in a sense because it will be used extensively in the questions that will come up here. So remember, so these are the properties that we have. One is, first one we did was, first one was here, invertendo, inverting both the sides, alternando, making the changes, when making this A upon C and B upon D, componendo, adding both the sides, dividendo, subtracting both the sides, and componendo, dividendo together will give you what? This one here. Okay.